The Sea of Cortez is full of islands, each one unique, each one abundant with sea and bird life, and so gives rise to the extraordinary diversity the Gulf is known for. One breathtaking highlight is the island of San Pedro Martir. There we had a rendezvous planned with fellow New Zealand and South African sailors from San Carlos. As soon as we arrived, we were amazed by the abundant marine life that met us. For 3 days we were surrounded day and night by the sounds and sights of sea lions and boobies, sometimes coming very close. Of course, as soon as we arrived, we jumped in the water to explore the caves near our anchorage. Underwater, the visibility is stunning, with fish life, sea lions and turtles swimming around. And inside the cave, we found underwater passages guarded by sea lions.
It's crazy. There's this cool cave that's up through there. You can see that on the other side. There's a seal, or a sea lion actually, guarding it. So we could go through. Oh well, this side.
In the bay, the territorial calls of the males began well before dawn and carried on late until the night. Intermixed with that were females and puppies calling out to each other. The island is the site of the fourth most important breeding colony of sea lion in the Sea of Cortez. In the surrounding waters, there are 14 species of marine mammals, including a resident group of sperm whales, often being seen on the sides of the island. As we explored the island by dinghy and by kayak, we found the seals just as curious about us as we were about them. And as long as we kept a respectful distance, they showed no signs of being disturbed by us. The Isla San Pedro Martir Biosphere Reserve is one of the best preserved sites in the Gulf of California, that is the Sea of Cortez, that according to the IUCN should be considered a natural laboratory of adaptation and evolution. The International Union for Conservation of Nature describes the island as a marine protected area that has great biological richness with 292 species of flora and fauna, both marine and terrestrial, of which 42 species are protected under Mexican law, 30 are on the IUCN Red List, and 36 are protected under International CITES Convention. Around the islands, marine productivity is among the highest in the world, resulting in small pelagic fish, like sardines and anchovies, with densities hardly imaginable in other regions. For this reason, the area is a favourite place for whales and countless seabirds, where they can spend the winter and spring season in the productive abundance of the marine upwellings. The steep cliffs of the island were covered in a white coating of guano, and this bird poop is a critical part of the food chain of nutrients being recycled into the sea by the birds that nest here. Because of the ecological importance and unique features, the reserve was recognized as a biosphere reserve as part of the UNESCO Man and Biosphere Reserve Program, a UNESCO World Natural Heritage Site and also a Ramsar Site, and it is included in the priority marine regions of Mexico. Around the coast, there were many caves and crevices with wonderful geological formation that we explored. Around the steep and inaccessible coast, we noticed terraces that had been built a long time ago. As we learned, in the late 19th and early 20th century, guano, or for us normal people, bird poop, was heavily mined off the island and shipped off as far as Europe to be used as fertilizer. The terraces were most probably built and harvested by conscripts or gang-pressed Indians, as we had found in the mines of Santa Rosalia also. Interestingly, black rats were introduced to the island during the extraction of guano, but the island is currently free from exotic species thanks to an extensive eradication program in 2007 to protect the resident birds from predation. Coming from Great Bear Island, it was of course encouraging to see how rat eradication had helped the birds on this island thrive. On our second day at San Pedro Martir, we decided to go for an excursion around the other side of the island in our dinghy. We barely made it around the headland when we were joined by Bobby, a brown-footed booby who decided to come along with us and stayed on our boat as we made it around the island for at least 20 minutes. The island is home to the world's largest nesting colonies of blue-footed boobies and brown boobies, one of the largest colonies in Mexico of brown pelicans, and probably the largest colony in the Gulf of California of red-billed tropic bird. There are approximately 200,000 blue-footed and brown boobies nesting here in an average year during spring. We'd arrived a little bit later, so we found much fewer birds there, but there was still plenty going on around the island. The day after we arrived, we were pleased to be joined by our friends from San Carlos. First to arrive was Maitarua, the South African boat with Patrick and Alan aboard. Soon after that arrived Ikigai, skippered by our Kiwi friend Sarah, who had been joined by her father Shane. The coastal waters of the reserve are home to 5 types of marine habitats, including black coral and rhodolith beds, which both sustain a rich diversity of invertebrate and fish species. There are also sargassum forests, sand areas, and significant rocky habitat coverage that is home to many other species. After 3 nights with the seals, it was time to put anchor and head north, but not before we went for another dive, and Maria had caught us some dinner for that night.